Okay, so, and what you're referring to is, Lawrence Heights.
Lawrence Heights with Dr.
Middle
Charmaine.
School. And it's interesting. One of the first things that I did when I went there is I sat down with the students, I sat down with the staff, I sat down with the community, and I said, how can we create a world-class learning environment that students are going to want to come to every day? And so they told me, they had all, different kinds of ideas. And one of their ideas was, we need to embrace music. We love music. And I've always said, if we want to, reach today's youth, we got to go through their door, whether it's music or art or technology or sports or what have you. Find it as a way to engage them in learning. So we are very fortunate and blessed to have Dr. Marine, who came to work with us as a volunteer and started this choir. I mean, our kids were walking to school every day with iPods and Walkmans and loved their music. So found it as a way to engage them. It's interesting, at Lawrence Heights, we had some challenges that we worked through, but one of them that just stuck out, for me, was how many lates we had. We had, probably, maybe about 300 to 400 students. And when we took a look at all of our lates, it was like 4,000 lates, which is just incredible. Because most of these kids were within walking distance. And so we started out, with this choir as an opportunity to really, validate some of the things that the kids wanted in the school. And Dr. Marine came, and she came at 7 o'clock, and the kids knew that, if you came at 7:01, the door was shut. You need to be here 5 minutes before, ready to go. And I got to tell you, we had like over 100 kids in that choir. Girls, boys, and it was absolutely amazing, because you don't get a lot of middle school boys that want to be in a choir. And
exactly.
It became, status for them to be in this choir. And one of the things that we saw over time was how our lates went down significantly. They wanted to be there. And when they're engaged, they're there. And I've always said the biggest issue, affecting us isn't necessarily underachievement, it's disengagement. And as students work their way through the system, their engagement declines. So we have to find innovative ways to engage our students. And I think music, technology, sports are a way to do that. I look back on my, my career, my high school career, and I can tell you, football kept me going to school. And it also provided me with another level of support through my coaches, my support network with my friends. And, when you have that sense of belonging, sense of connection, anything's possible.
So football kept you going to school, and now you're a doctor, right? You're running the largest school board in the country. So all you football haters and sport haters out there, take note. Football kept me in school too, right? So you wrote a book called Racism, The
Skin I'm in, Racism, Sports.
Skin I'm in, right, Racism, Sports, and Achievement.
Yeah.
And we do know that sports is very big in some of the marginalized communities. The people are having achievement problems. And this drive or this desire or this thought that you can make it big by going to the NBA. I'm sure you're seeing that. How do you square that with what you just said earlier, which is that sports kept you in school, and the fact that that's certainly an engagement tool for a number of kids, and where you have kids now being attracted to go to the United States to pursue this basketball dream, and you're losing students in your own system here because you don't have a sports-oriented type of program, like a high school specifically geared towards the elite athletes.
We do have a couple, by the way.
Yeah.
Birchmount and, there's one other that escapes me. And part of our package of programs of choice is to start an elementary sports academy. So it's on the horizon. But I think the message has to be, use sport before it uses you. And, when I'm talking to kids, I tell them that, education needs to be your main plan and not your backup plan. And again, I wrote that book because I was concerned. I was working in a school in which if you asked the kids in my class, and I was teaching an all-boys class, what they wanted to do when they grew up, they would all tell you they want to be in the NBA. And some of them weren't even on the middle school basketball team. And they had this dream about being in the NBA. And I was sharing this story earlier, about this one kid. And it's so sad. When I was saying, but Tyrone, I get it, because I'm not here to, stop anybody from dreaming. But you got to be a little bit realistic. Like, you're not on the middle school team and you're going to be in the NBA. And, I've never seen you play. And this was a kid that was playing Nerf basketball in his bedroom for 3 or 4 hours a night. And he honestly believed that was going to get him into the NBA. So that whole, sports culture tragically leads millions of young people down a path where the chances of making it are slim and none. And so just trying to get them to understand, love the sport, dream big, but make sure that education is your main plan. And I use myself as an example because I was no different. I was, eating and drinking and sleeping football. That was my life. But I was lucky to have coaches and mentors that said, make sure you take care of the classroom. So when I got injured and my career was done, I was able to do some other things. And, unfortunately, some of these young men, they put all their eggs in one basket. They're just thinking, I'm the next one. And to get to that level, you have to believe that, but you also got to be smart about it because the chances of making it are, less than 2%. And the media certainly, glorifies these athletes. And in some of these communities where there's a lack of role models, they turn on the TV and they see people who look like them doing Sprite commercials and, being adored and glorified. And they think, why not me? And again, use sport before it uses you.
Great. Can you tell us about your journey to where you are now, from that kid who eats, sleep, football, to pursuing your dream and having that torn apart with your ACL, I guess, or Achilles?
Achilles,
and,
yeah.
And how you have now moved from that to being the director of the largest school board in the country?
Yeah, well, I've been blessed. I mean, it's been an amazing journey, and, there's so many people that have supported me, encouraged me, sacrificed for me, my parents, my mentors, my coaches. So I've just been absolutely, blessed in that regard. But, it started for me. I was born in England, and we came over to Canada. My parents, from Jamaica, went to England to get educated, came to Canada for opportunity. And they certainly instilled in all three of their children the importance of education. And, just seeing them make the sacrifices that they made to ensure that we got, every opportunity that we wanted in our life was just a given for them. So I got an opportunity to play football at Simon Fraser. I went to Simon Fraser on a football scholarship. And Simon Fraser was a great fit for me because got the opportunity to play American competition, get a scholarship, but stay in Canada. And I studied criminology and absolutely, loved that. And when I graduated, I was working in detention centers, and I found it depressing, demoralizing, tragic, really, what was going on in some of those detention centers, because by the time kids are, 14, 15 years old, and they go to a detention center, it's like society had given up on them. They had exhausted almost everything else. And so there was little or no hope in detention centers that I worked in out in British Columbia. And it got to the point where, when kids were even trying to commit suicide, and you'd go and you'd see this, and you'd have to go and lift the kid up and then call down to one of your colleagues, and they'd come down and they'd cut the kid down. And I mean, it just got to be routine. So you're down there, you say, George, I need you in cell number 5. We got a hanger. And I mean, that was just like a daily thing.